Rogers, and welcome to Curtain Call. And today we have the director of our upcoming show, Daniel Johnston. You may have seen him before because he wrote House, and we did that like a year ago, right?
January 2017, 2018, something like that, yeah. So
tell us about this new project that you're directing. And it starts October 18th, right?
Yes.
Goes through November the 10th.
Yeah, it's called Afflicted Daughters of Salem by Laurie Brooks. And it's sort of a prequel to The Crucible. So it gets into the minds of the 6 girls who were responsible for the Salem witch trials, and kind of lends itself to why they may have done what they did, why they accused people, and like what led them down that path. So it's an interesting take.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be doing The Crucible later in 2020. Nice. So everybody who's interested in that should definitely come see this show. And of course, it's a perfect time of the year for it.
Absolutely.
It's fall. But what brought you to doing this particular show?
Well, I love The Crucible. I do. And it's something I've wanted to direct for a long time, but I just haven't felt like I was quite ready for such a big project. So I wanted to look around and see if there were other smaller scale stories about the Salem witch trials. And I really didn't find much, but I did find this script. And it's a small cast, it's very intimate, excuse me, but it's so powerful. It's so powerful, and it leads directly up to the beginning of The Crucible.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah,
right there.
It goes right up to the start of The Crucible. Right. So it's very interesting, you know.
It is. It's a very powerful show. I was there, of course, for the design run, and it just took a while to kind of relax afterwards. Yeah. It's just an exquisite, powerful, dynamic show. You have fantastic actresses and actors.
Very lucky, yes.
So what was some of the difficulties you had in directing this show?
Well, I want to make sure that at the end of the night, everybody feels safe and everybody can leave the work behind, you know? So at the end of our rehearsals, after the girls spend an hour crying and sobbing and screaming on stage, we have our little dance parties, you know, to try and shake it off and like make sure that everybody's leaving happy. It's just, I'm very concerned with their well-being, especially when they have to go to such a dark place mentally. So, but so far, everybody seems to be able to leave it behind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Yeah. I know that it happened to us when we did this show, The American Way. It ends very sadly, and the people, when you turn around, you have to get on the stage and bow. Yeah, you know, and you're still sobbing from what you went through. Yeah, but. They're just great people. So, and I know with your help, they're coming along just fine with this. What are some of the things that you've done? Because you've done a lot of involving the actresses and actors in projects and things, and it's really become a family, I think.
I think so. Yeah, we worked at Riverfest. You know, we did a little snippet of the show there at Riverfest to try and promote. But because that was a 5 or 6 hour ordeal, you know, and we only performed twice that day, there was a lot of downtime to just sit and talk and really get to know each other. But that happens when you have a small cast. You know, you really get to know each other better. So it'll be sad to end this one for sure, but we're not there yet. So I'm trying not to think about it.
Well, you know, I think things go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you just interact with each other in a different way, but down the path, and it's always good to see somebody. But you had some projects that you did?
We did. We actually also, a good friend of mine, Leanne, came in, and we all made bracelets together one night at the start of our rehearsal. So red bracelets are a big deal in the show. And originally I thought maybe these would be the bracelets we used, but then our costumer made bracelets that I really liked. So instead, we did this as kind of a cast bonding exercise. We all made bracelets, we talked about character, we talked about our lives. And I was thinking maybe of actually integrating that little bracelet workshop we did into the show just as some business, you know, maybe having Julie or someone, you know, making a bracelet during one of the scenes while they're talking, just to add some business and some flair. So It was that was a great day. We had a lot of fun.
And aren't you all joining together to see The Crucible, the movie?
We've been talking about having a watch party of The Crucible. And I asked them to all read The Crucible so that they know where their characters go. You know, what happens next for their characters after this, which is not a lot of shows get that opportunity.
Right, absolutely.
To see what's next or to see what's before, you know, so.
Yeah, it was truly, truly interesting. Is there anything during this process that surprised you along the way about yourself or about how the process turned out?
Well, you know, there's always something. With every theater show, you can be as prepared as you want to be, but there's always going to be something that throws a wrench in the gears or whatever the phrase is. And we were set back a little. You know, there were some scheduling conflicts with certain people, and we did have to do a little bit of recasting. But everybody rose to the challenge. You know, that also brought the cast together, was being without an actor for a period of time, where they all had to fill in as that actor when they weren't in the scene.
Oh, right.
You know, and then we brought someone in, they took her in with open arms, and we're back on track.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It certainly seems like it. So could you tell us the actresses' names and what part they're playing, because they're not all here today?
Yes, absolutely. I've written it a million times on Facebook. I have it memorized. So we have Ashanti Cooper as Tituba. Malissa Cruz Romero plays Abigail. Sarah Luckadoo plays Ann Putnam. Megan Safko plays Mercy Lewis. Julie Rogers plays Mary Warren. And then Jim Berard is playing Reverend Parris. And I brought in Maia Krapcho to play Sarah Osborne, and Lenny Dinerman is playing Thomas Putnam. And Emily Groves plays Betty Parris.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Right. They're all so great.
Yeah.
A lot of them have done things at Laurel Mill Playhouse before. Who's new to Laurel Mill Playhouse?
Malissa, Sarah, and I think Emily. I think that's all who are new. Everybody else has been there in some way, shape, or form before.
So I hope we can keep the new ones and keep on rolling.
Yeah, they seem to be having a great time.
So this is from October the 18th to November the 10th. It runs for 4 weekends. The first 2 weekends, it's Fridays and Saturdays at 8 o'clock. The last 2 weekends, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the Sundays are at 2 p.m. I would definitely get your tickets ahead of time for this. We have a small theater, seats 59 people, and you'll just love the intimacy of this play. You'll feel like you're right in it, and it's just so many good surprises that you'll be able to see and enjoy and appreciate. So Daniel, thank you so much, and we hope to see you real soon directing again.
I hope so too.
And just stay tuned, because we're going to meet 2 of the actresses, and they do more than just act in this show. And we'll be right back. Thanks.
HHV delivers specialty designed arts and craft kits that serve as a therapeutic tool to help veterans during their recuperation. They can also help with PTSD. The kits are free and can be sent directly to your home. Call this number or visit hhv.org to learn more.
Hello, welcome back to Curtain Call. I'm Maureen Rogers, and I have some great actresses here today that I want you to meet, and they are in Afflicted, Daughters of Salem, and they're actually doing double duty. Besides being on the stage, they're also doing things behind the scenes too. So first of all, why don't you introduce yourselves and then tell us what role you're playing, and then we'll talk about the tech aspect too.
Great, yeah. I'm Sarah Luckadoo, and I'm playing Ann Putnam Jr. in Afflicted, Daughters of Salem. I'm also fight and movement choreographer and intimacy coordinator.
And I am Maia Krapcho. I'm playing Sarah Osborne in the show, and I am taking my first foray into crew as assistant stage manager.
Great, great. Stage managers, assistant stage managers are so important.
Yes.
They make that show move.
Definitely.
So you've all been rehearsing for how long?
Oh,
About a month?
and a half?
Has it been a month and a
Yeah,
half?
we've started pretty early.
And it's been pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Long hours.
Yeah.
And,
Enjoyable, but yes, long.
Yes. I saw the design run last week, and it really is just going to be a wonderful show. Wonderful show.
Yes.
So for both of you, what's the hardest thing about being in the show as an actress? Because it's a very intense show.
Yes, I think for me, I feel like the hardest thing, just because I'm also doing a lot of choreography, it's really hard for me to, because I have to do the choreography myself, so I really want to make sure I give notes and make sure the rest of the actresses who are in the movement pieces are feeling very comfortable with what they're doing in their movement. And just because as a choreographer, that's a way for my creative side to come out, and I want to be able to give those like notes to them and let them feel comfy. And so that's what I'm having trouble with right now. It is a challenge, but it's definitely fun because thank goodness for technology. You have videos and everything like that and Facebook. But as an actress, I think really getting into the world of these young girls who everyone knows about with the Salem witch trials and everything. We all know it from as well known from The Crucible. Arthur Miller's The Crucible. So just knowing that and being able to try to get into that world and understand that why they are innocent and making that come up for myself and justifying that for myself. It's been a challenge, but it's been a great experience so far.
And how about you, Maia?
So I have a slightly different experience because I am playing a very small role in this show. It's really just a walk-on to give some perspective to the girls of some townspeople who they do end up accusing. So I watch them go to these deep, deep places in these rehearsals, and I don't have to do that. And in some ways, I'm like, whew, I don't have to do that. But in other ways, I think it would be an amazing experience to explore those emotions and those feelings. But to watch them is just amazing. I mean, it truly brings you into this world, and you feel. I don't necessarily feel that they're all innocent, but
I think it's the bond between us as actors being really with each other and figuring out the relationships, the ins and outs of these 6 young girls. And as actresses, just being able to bond with each other and become that close in that way helps the emotions get there, because I would never, we go back and forth with hurting each other, especially my character, just being not nice at all. So it definitely hits home, and it's easy to get there just because of the relationships we built in the rehearsal room.
Right. You become more comfortable with each other, and you know that you're acting.
Absolutely, yes.
And there are techniques that Daniel is very firm about letting it go at the end, because they do get so raw. So there are things that he does at the end of each rehearsal to make sure that they let it go.
He was talking about that, and it's a great thing, because otherwise you go home and you're a mess still.
And that's not what the work is necessarily about. It's be able to walk out of the room and be like, "Hi, I'm Sarah again," but really feel like I can be Anne and let go in that moment when I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely. So when you choreograph the dance, and there's fight choreography too.
Yes.
But when you choreograph the dance, where did you get your inspiration for that? Because it's so awesome. It just really, I just love to watch. I just keep pushing play, you know?
I think I remember watching The Crucible, the movie with Winona Ryder, and back in the day. And I remember the opening shot just being them in the black and white, obviously, in the woods, and just kind of dancing, kind of a little crazy and just kind of psychotic. And I just remembered how ritualistic it looked, and I really wanted to continue to play on that concept. And then Daniel found some amazing music for us, and just as soon as I heard the music, it really just inspired that, because not only are the girls having fun, they're having fun and they're innocent, so there's definitely a lot of that to it, but there's definitely also this sense of, they're wanting to seek the devil. I don't know if that's necessarily everyone's motivation, but that kind of comes into them, and I wanted to portray that coming
Yeah.
out. Because maybe to them it's all fun and games and a bit of sport, as they
Right.
say, but to the outside eye it's like, what is happening?
Yeah, and,
So
and you
that's
could
kind
see that in the audience, the design run, definitely.
Hope it didn't scare you guys too much.
No, it was very, very good. And Maia, of course, you're back with this. You left a light comedy, shall we say?
The complete opposite of this show. Yeah, the last show was very light and a story, but a very
Fun story.
fun, happy,
Yeah, she played
playful
Angelica
story.
in Girls of the Garden Club, and you played. I loved to play opposite you for our little piece because it was so much fun. you
Yeah.
know. And then I saw you audition for Miracle on 34th Street, and I thought, well, that's two completely different people. It was just great fun to watch. There are, in fact, 3 more auditions to Miracle on 34th
three?
Street. So check our website to see, or you can get in touch with me also at MaureenCRogers@gmail.com. So how about so I always say there's no small parts.
Agreed. And I feel like my character in this does move the story along.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I am thrilled to be a part of it. I'm thrilled to get the experience of crew because I haven't had that before. But I still get my little bit of, okay, I've got my little bit of stage time. But I do feel like my part is important to the story.
Yeah,
So
we talk about you like
Throughout,
throughout
yeah.
the whole thing.
Right. So it's good to see an actual person.
exactly. And in the original script, there wasn't.
Yes.
And that's why
right.
Daniel actually, because it really is like a 20-second, which is fine, But he didn't want to audition somebody and then put them into this, here's your role, here's your part, 20 seconds walk across the stage kind of thing. So he approached me and asked me if I would consider doing that. And for Daniel, anything.
He's great.
He's amazing.
But knowing that character is an important aspect makes me feel part.
I mean, you are the first accused.
I am
like
the
that
first
Abigail,
accused.
like all of a sudden sees you all coming into the
So
forest,
mean.
and she's like, "I saw Goody Osborne with the devil,"
So
and
mean.
that's kind of where it spirals from there. So I think it's great that we get to have a person to like act off of.
Yeah,
and everything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Rather than in a space somewhere.
Oh yes, just making it up as we go.
So tell me about what you do, because with the intimacy,
Oh yes.
what that entails.
Yes. So intimacy is basically, there's a lot I could say, but basically a way for actors in the theater field and film as well. It's a part of Intimacy Directors International. It's a new and coming organization that is really taking the theater and film world by storm. It's basically to create safe and confident spaces for the actors and actresses to make sure professionalism is staying where it needs to be, because it's not going to be comfortable work. Because not all work, when you have to be intimate, if your character or the play calls for it, is never going to be comfortable. But the goal is to do dangerous work in a safe environment, to feel safe and confident. So I am actually being mentored under a certified intimacy director. Her name's Jenny Mail, and she's one of the ones in the area. And I've been to a few workshops with her, and she mentors me and lets me kind of go through the pillars. There's 5 different pillars to go through intimacy that makes everyone just feel like they're on the same page. And we did a workshop. It was about, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
Because every actor is different. We want to just make sure they feel safe and confident in the work they're able to do, because everyone has boundaries. We're all people. We all have different pasts. And we just want to make sure we all are on the same page. And I think it's such important work that in the past, certain things like kind of get lost
Right, right. And I think it's truly wonderful you're doing that, and we may call on you later also.
Oh, please. I would love to keep, especially in the community theater circuit, because it's a big thing in professional theater now, getting there, and it's recognized by SAG-AFTRA with in film and TV. But I think community theater, these smaller things where we do it for fun, I think it's still so important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And the workshop was very interesting, and I actually used some of the things that you taught us. The next day in the real world, something happened, and I learned about this. But I think even more so in community theater, people might not feel like they can speak up if, you know,
They feel inhibited because they're afraid that...
Right, you don't, it's community theater, you don't want to upset anyone, you don't want to overstep, right.
You should be safe.
But you may just not be feeling it that day. And you taught us some great ways to share that information and let people know what you're comfortable with, and I thought it was really...
The important thing is to never assume that one actor is comfortable with something over something else.
That's important.
And just knowing that there are always avenues for you to communicate to someone. If it's not to me, I told them in the room, I was like, if you don't feel comfortable talking to me about something, if I made you uncomfortable, here's 3 other people you can go to. Daniel said the same thing. He's like, I'm one of the only men in a room full of predominantly women, and if you feel uncomfortable at all, feel free to go to Sarah, Maia, go to Maureen, like, you know, go to someone, because there are people to talk to. So,
and I don't think I even realized that, like I might touch somebody's hand or arm. That could be something that somebody doesn't want, you know.
And that's a big thing in like teaching too, especially in the university circuit and the theater departments in universities. I'm working with a university right now, choreographing a show, and I find myself, just because of the way I'm a touchy person, and I naturally like, let's move this way, and now I find myself saying, do you mind if I touch you? Or just trying to figure out a different way, a different tactic, because it's so, it's just important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thank you for that.
Yeah.
I thank both of you all for coming in today and being involved in the show. It's a really great, stellar cast with a stellar director. And we look forward to you all coming to the show. Starts again on October the 18th through November the 10th. You can get your tickets online at laurelmillplayhouse.org. We suggest that, so you're sure you have a seat. We're a small theater. Thank you, ladies, again for coming and taking time out of your busy schedule. And what your schedule is going to be the next 7 days is pretty busy.
Yes.
We're ready. Thank you for having us.
So we'll see you next time with our next upcoming show, which will be Miracle on 34th Street. Thank you again.